All right. Good afternoon, separate traders. Welcome on back here this Wednesday afternoon, January 24th. So many stocks we're trading today. I'm losing track of my weekdays. How about that? Great to see Brian and Grant still with us here, though, inside our live trading room. Gary as well, perhaps. Sky is falling, says Gary. Yeah, market's dropping off a little bit, peeling back. We talked about this heading into the market open, even. Just, look at the chat and pre-market. I wrote to you early this morning that with the SPY gapping up as much as it had, oftentimes you tend to see a bit of a gap fill, whether it's a complete gap fill or maybe partial. Either way, you tend to see a little bit of that throughout each day. I mean, hey, if we go back to November time, obviously, or maybe it was October, but this pump that we had to begin this whole melt up within the market, yeah, we didn't pull back on those days, but it's not really as often in which you see that. So yeah, we did pull back here. We're back down towards yesterday's close. Looking at SPY daily chart here, close price from yesterday, 48486. All right, well, we got more room even than that. I thought we were kind of like looking at my 5-minute chart right there. Well, we got down to this area, but there could be more of a drop off if we're looking to really fill the gap in full. But, hey, with that in mind, there's a few trades obviously dropping right now. There has been some good shorts. Spirit Airlines, right? For as much as this pumped up back a day or two ago, it's been a great day trade for the most part, up and down both ways. But today, it was a really good short. Let me actually show you this here, even from level 4. I'm not able to show you the Bookviewer right now here at this point, level 3. But when you look at level 4, there was a pretty big sell order that showed up out of nowhere. I mean, just here in the morning, it was right as it was beginning to pull back towards the low of the day. But what happens when there's a clean 100K sitting out there? Well, it's a lot of selling pressure at that point. So you're anticipating more of a pullback, a break lower, and this ended up just sinking. So really good short all throughout the morning. I know one of our new trial members kind of asked, like, hey, like, are you guys shorting with the drop that we're seeing in the market? And the answer to that is yes. Innately, I think a lot of us here, if not all of us otherwise, are more kind of inclined to focus on buying opportunities, stocks moving upward. And yes, we do go short, especially when the markets are dropping. So save was actually a really good one if you're able to get the shares. But, we'll see if there's anything else that can go with it here heading into the close. All right. Now, hey, at 3:05 Eastern time, we got class coming up, finishing up actually phase 1. So we'll be talking all about journaling your trades and why it's so important to keep a track record, of what you're doing day to day. I mean, I feel like, again, we're all grown adult human beings. I've been phrasing it that way because, as new students that enroll into CTU get to go through our classes, I want you to know that I know from this side of things too. Like, hey, like, I know that we understand the concept of journaling, but how do we do it? And of course, in relation to making money, how is it important? All right. All right. Well, one rookie mistake I made before starting this meeting. Oh man, I forgot to get my water bottle here, my cup of water. So running on empty here. Let's see what we can grab from top to bottom, though, otherwise. Long day on the stick between the audio, the class, coaching sessions one-on-one, which I always love. But no, seriously, I mean, that and then I was on the phone with Fausto earlier briefly. Got to make sure we're good to go for class coming up. EVACs, I mean, this is kind of the story of the day, these pop and drop type of plays. And they're all very low float type of moves, up and down. They're on like a 1,000,000 share float, 500,000 share float. They're garbage. And they go up once or twice, and that's it. You don't want to get drawn to them. Oh, you know what? Oh, really quick. I'm going to have to show this in class on top if it's the case. But I didn't even care to check because Kira didn't look it at first. But this is starting to look like it now. Is this a buyout? Okay, so Cura Oncology shares trading higher after the company announced an oversubscribed $150 million private placement. I'm not going to act as if I know what that means. So maybe that's an investment. Maybe that's a new fund stepping in with equity. Hey, either way, led to a little pop. I just doesn't look like a full buyout, though. It doesn't look like a legit buyout at a price per share transaction. CCTG, ooh, I guess a new IPO. I'm not going to really focus on that. RDHL, I mean, keep it going. Listen, we're working in a down market right now, so probably not going to find too much that's working its way up against the grain, swimming upstream. Bison from earlier, it's just more flat now. Probably see the ETF out there, UVXY, probably somewhere on there. Netflix, I mean, we kind of thought this would happen here after it had popped up pretty nicely, made the false break over 560 and came back down. And if there's no support really stepping in to try and pump it back up again, then you can't just hope for it. So, I plotted these levels even just earlier on a coaching call with one of our students. Just now at this point, this thing garbage. So, we'll pass on Netflix now for the time being. Obviously it's way too expensive, but coming off earnings, it's just more of a special instance where we'll put that on our actual list. Same to be said, hey, for this afternoon, folks, what's coming out this afternoon, right at 4 p.m. or shortly after for earnings? I hope you know because you should be more in the know with at least some of the major earnings throughout the week. We're not going to trade every stock, but of course the ones that trade good volume, the ones that trade good liquidity on the order book. This Boyle ETF actually is having a nice little day. Chuck, I'm sure you're happy with this one right now. It's at the high, so actually I'm going to add this one to our watch list. I normally don't focus on ETFs, as we said, but I'll slip Boyle on there. Yep, we got Tesla. Tesla earnings coming out this afternoon, right at 4 p.m. So we don't really trade stocks pre-earnings. It's more reacting to it afterwards because we're not trying to do much of a gamble right before earnings, unless if you're more in the know with the financials, with the company. If you live and breathe the stock, that is different. But telling you firsthand, I do not. So I'm going to trade the reaction. I'm going to trade the smart money. I'm going to make, hopefully smart decisions off of that smart money. But yeah, for now, Boyle, ETF, your natural gas ETF, seeing if this could squeeze up higher into the close. I definitely like this one. All right. So if there's anything else looking good on the way up here, folks, just type it in. Just let me know. Again, kind of working in a down market, so not expecting much. All right, so let's hop over to the losers list here, see if there's anything looking just as good. Oh, well, speaking of which, DWAC. Okay, so speaking about a cook trade now at this point, now, earlier in the day or earlier in the afternoon, just before, probably about like 30 minutes ago, in fact, I was writing to you saying, hey, like perhaps there's a case to see DWAC make another like 5 point swing back up, right? Yeah, possibly. I mean, hey, if it ended up holding support off of 40-ish, 41, like that area, it's been support the last 2 days. That's where I personally have been taking the trade right from. Moved up like 5 points, 10 points after. All right, well, more test support. Eventually, it's going to break it. So I did take a small loss just before on 150 shares. And now at this point, if it is not breaking higher, there is only one other way it's going to go. All right, so uh, question from Mark in between here in the chat board. I have to ask, why do you have the class the same time as the trading room? Seems like a conflict to me. My answer to that would simply be I think that everyone here could simply miss one afternoon because oftentimes when we do class, we try to show examples during a live market. So, that's actually where we look to teach and learn in a moving market there. But otherwise, in the simple sense of, I think that we could all afford just one afternoon here. And of course, it's not just one, it's a few for this month, right? But otherwise, though, again, we're working in a live market. So, I feel like that's even a better place to learn and go through things together as a group. This room here specifically is not meant for teaching, it's meant for more like making call outs, right? So, otherwise, what we learn here this afternoon, perhaps you could apply as early as tomorrow morning. All right. Definitely let me know if you just, have any other feedback on that, Mark, or if you just want to talk on the side with that, please. Definitely I can chat with you. Email, private chat. All right, let's see what else we got here just as far as losers list. You might find a couple good shorts now at this point. Again, earlier today, Save was such a good short that we called out. BB, this is getting too close to the ground floor here. About time. This is like really getting close to zero. BlackBerry, I feel like they've been kind of on the cusp of like bankruptcy and whatnot forever. All right, so let's see if there's anything looking at least better from our side list, though. Otherwise, not much from the losers list that's like name brand. Checking out the SPY right now, small little support building around 486. It doesn't guarantee it's going to make the sling higher. I mean, hey, if we end up seeing more of a drop off, then I'd rather follow some stocks that are a little bit weaker towards the lows. Coinbase potentially, but a little bit more expensive. Mara, again, nothing too impressive up or down as much today on Mara. Check out American Airlines. We'll check out Upstart, which has had a pretty good run the last day or two. Actually, this has dropped off pretty sharply so far today, but still only down 2+%. Mike says DraftKings dropped off a bunch. Yeah, but even that one, I'm more interested in a bounce over time or like another move back up. So I don't know if it's going to be to your advantage to try and short this one. It's actually up 1%. So it's at like, near the lows dropping off. Not bad chart in that like recent trend, but I'd rather stock down a lot percentage wise already, or down a little bit more than 2, 3, 4%. All right. So, hey, how about this? If there is anything else, just keep typing away. I don't mind just taking a look at one or two more because, truth be told, I think that we only have like one or two tickers that we're even putting on our watch list here. That's all. You got MREO from Benzinga up 12%. Not bad. Not bad. At least it's at the highs. It's got a good order book, everything that we look for. So more easy for me to kind of just slip on our list here. Yeah, laser, maybe LAZR. A little bit slower. This one has a lot more volume on the order book to try and break over. So, in terms of tradability, it's not going to really give you too much. Not really trying to watch the grass grow there. All right, I'll tell you what. I got to grab my cup of water. We're going to finish up, I think, here, folks, in just a bit. This HRTX not looking half bad either, at least. So MREO and HRTX. I'll kind of add to our list there with Chuck Boyle on our list. He's also calling out PALT. This one's a little too thin, too low volume. Only 175,000 shares right now total on the day. That's tiny. So pass on this, but your Boyle not looking bad, Chuck. You got the other two at least there for the time being, MREO and HRTX. Just lastly, again, we'll just check out Benzinga Pro. I was just relaying this info to you just now, but those three. If you were able to short DWAC, potentially that would have been a nice one to follow, but it's also too thin, level 5 stock. So, there's no real need to jump into that on a large size at all, and you could do pretty well just trading 50, 100 shares. But, this type of stock anyway is very thin. So I wouldn't really want to put this on our list unless it was looking pretty strong going up. All right, checking YouTube, checking Facebook, checking all of our social media streams and platforms at Cyber Trading You. Appreciate you dealing with my dry mouth here so far this afternoon. Lack of water will be good to go by class at least here at 3 o'clock. But for Mark, for Kathleen, for Chuck, for Michael, and all of our students here, Grant, Leda, etc. Hey, I know that Rich just posted the link for class, the Phase 1 course. So please, if you could spare yourself 60 whole minutes, the market's not going anywhere, folks. We could make our money at any point tomorrow, any point Friday. And obviously, I mean, hey, earlier today, we had our chance to make our days pay from 9:30 to 10:30, right? And all afternoon as well. So, there are opportunities that you could try and take a trade or so. Just a matter of following our call outs live inside our trading room, right? That's it. But otherwise, hey, we'll talk to everybody student coming up in class. If you are not a student and if you're just trading heading into the close, best of luck trading. Rich will be on just at 3 o'clock here coming up. Take care.